Welcome to the Mark Prater podcast, where our aim is to connect our global family of churches with our executive director. Mark, as you well know, and most of the pastors, if not all of our pastors know, we're essentially in RAE, Regional Assembly season, with a number of RAEs happening throughout Sovereign Grace over the past couple of weeks. I know mine's coming up starting on Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday. We've been doing these for a few years now. Talk to us about regional assemblies.
When we ratified our Book of Church Order in 2013, at that moment, we really became an elder-led family of churches. And elder-led gets expressed in a number of ways within our polity. One of the main ways is the Council of Elders meeting that happens annually, where an elder from every church, we meet together, we make decisions, votes are taken. On national committees, votes are taken, the budget is voted on, we make decisions about our statement of faith and Book of Church Order that really are the important documents that govern us and join us together theologically as a family of churches. But another expression of being elder-led, our Regional Assembly of Elders. So our churches here in the United States are within regions. Typically, those are geographic in nature. We have 9 regions here in the U.S., and at least twice a year, those Regional Assembly of Elders gather together, typically once in the spring and once in the fall. And that's why it's Regional Assembly of Elders season. But they're so important. As I was reflecting on this actually this morning. So our Book of Church Order was ratified in 2013. We had to form regions. So I think the first Regional Assembly of Elder meetings happened in 2014. So we've been doing them for 8 years now, and I found that they have strengthened us in a number of ways. First of all, just in terms of just doing ministry together. So at a Regional Assembly of Elders meeting, there is important business, if you can say it that way, getting done. All expressions of how elders in that region have authority to make decisions about certain things. So there'll be decisions made at Regional Assembly of Elders meetings about budget for the upcoming year. There'll be ordination committees that will put forth elder candidates who went through our ordination process and will be voted on by the Regional Assembly as an affirmation that he's to be an elder in the region. Now, doing that, we still recognize the authority of the local church to ordain the man, but the region is basically affirming that. So this week at the Northeast Regional Assembly that I'll be a part of, we will be voting on Nick Kidwell as an elder candidate. He's passed the ordination exam, and we'll vote on him, which is really, really exciting. And then the church planting committee will give a report. And if there's a church plant that's being planned or one that's about to happen, there'll be a decision made on that. So again, this week at the Northeast Regional Assembly, we'll be voting to give final approval for Nick Kidwell to plant a church. Valley Creek Church is the name of it in Malvern, Pennsylvania. And I say all that because it's not the leadership team of Sovereign Grace or the executive committee of Sovereign Grace that makes those decisions. It's the elders that are closest to those decisions that are making them. And one other committee, the Judicial Review Committee, always gives an update. Typically, we haven't had a lot of issues where they've had to report on adjudications, but again, another way that the region functions, and it's healthy. It's really good.
Yeah, we've certainly. I've benefited from the relationships I have with the pastors in my region. It's encouraging to see 8 years in too that this kind of thing that we're doing, I think will endure because the torch is being passed from one generation to the next, even as we move forward as a denomination. I know Ken Mellinger, who served our region so well for 7 years as a regional leader, just recently we affirmed Jace Hudson starting in July as our new regional leader. And so just to even see those dynamics happening, I mean, the polity was theoretical when we signed on to it, but to watch it unfold and to see the benefit to our denomination has been spectacular. But not just business is happening at a Regional Assembly of Elders. There are other things that are important as well. Talk to us about what else happens at a Regional Assembly.
Yeah, there's a number of good things that happen. So the East Central region met last week. The West region met last week. this week. The South Central region, which is kind of the Texas region, the guys in the Southeast region, kind of Florida, Georgia, Alabama, all are together this week. The Northeast region that I'm a part of, and I believe the Mid-South region is meeting also this week. And then your region next week, the Lower Great Lakes region. In each of those regional assembly of elders, there's not only business being done, as you said, but there's a lot that's happened with regard to strengthening our values. The first one is just strengthening the value of building together relationally. It's just good to be together as elders within a region, getting updates from one another, whether that's formal or informal conversations, praying for one another, laughing together, doing competitions together. I know Eric had a big competition plan for his elders in the West region last week. So I'm eager to hear what the results were from that. But it's also a time when we can benefit from each other in terms of equipping us for ministry. So there's usually sometimes a theological training component, a guy or two teaching on a particular area that he may be strong in that we can benefit from. So it's just a great time to be together as brothers. And it really has this effect of, we're not doing ministry in isolation. We're not doing ministry alone. We're doing ministry with other like-minded elders. And that's a sweet thing for an elder of a local church.
Yeah, and we often, I'm sure all of us have heard often about lonely pastors struggling, isolated. And I thank God that the way that our polity has been set up, it actually pushes us towards one another and helps us build relationally. I know one of the things I'm looking forward to the most at our regional assembly is one way that Ken has led us well is we will sing together and we'll pray together, and there will be prophetic ministry. And that's a highlight. I'm not as big on the business side. I know it's important, but there's a lot of other that on top of on Monday. So Monday is when the podcast drops. Monday afternoon, we're going to be doing a Zoom call with a Brazilian pastor that Bert Turner's been working with, and we're doing an oral ordination exam translated from the Portuguese from Bert. So if guys see this, if this comes out on Monday morning, pray for that man Fabiano and that process. But we, Lord willing, we will have our first ordained Brazilian pastor soon. So any other thoughts before we go?
Well, what you just said, I think, is a wonderful way that the guys here in the States, the elders of Sovereign Grace here in the States, are serving our brothers outside the United States. Because as we are, as you know, churches are candidate churches like those in Brazil, and they're looking to become an emerging nation church, that step is for them to come up with their own book of church order based on the one here in the States. So they don't have a regional assembly yet, for example. And so a lot of times the way that we do ordinations outside the States is we ask an American region like yours, who, because of Bert, has a relationship with Fabiano, to actually do the ordination for them or walk through the ordination process with them. So it's another, the Regional Assembly of Elders not only strengthen us here in the States, hopefully they're serving and strengthening our brothers outside the States as well.
Yeah, and I know there's a number of regions that are doing that happy work of partnership. So, well, thanks for your thoughts, Mark, and God bless everybody who is anticipating the regional assembly coming soon. We're so grateful, and we thank you for watching or reading this podcast. We'll see you here, Lord willing, next week. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching. If you have questions or comments, Mark would love to hear from you. For more videos like this, hit subscribe on YouTube or by email at markkprater.com.